This is the 5 must-have, must-do practice building secrets for a highly profitable business and practice. So if you want to be successful in your clinic, you've got to have the success factors nailed down and practicing them on a day-to-day basis. Otherwise, you're wondering, I'm doing all the right things. Well, maybe in your world, but are you really doing them relative to what matters? And that is your success in your clinic with your patients. And the bottom line is it's a business, right? So business has to be profitable, or else that business is not going to be around very long. So maybe you're at that point where you need to be thinking, you have been thinking that, gee, you know what? I'm going to give it one more year, this amount of time more. And if I don't make it, I'm packing it in. And how many chiropractic colleagues or friends of friends do you know that packed it in? I've witnessed and seen a lot of people, and we don't always know why. And it's usually because they either lost their passion, they lost their purpose, and or they couldn't make it profitable. That's why practices go down. So I don't want you to be one of those practitioners. So I'm going to give you the 5 must-have, must-do practice building secrets. Would that be good? Okay. The number 1 secret is believe in yourself. Belief. You probably heard this before. And believe me, these secrets, you've probably heard of them all. In fact, you probably know of them all and knew that you want to implement them, even worked at it. Maybe you're working at it even right now. So, belief. Now, you can do almost anything you want to do if you put your mind to it, right? With belief. And it's not just belief one day, it's not just belief for 1 hour, it's not just belief for 1 second, but it's all those things, a consistent belief. Now, let me quote to you one of my business and personal development mentors. Marcia Weeder is an amazing, not only a business person, wow, she's a coach. She created Dream Coach Academy, and she produces dream coaches. Actually, Dream University, worldwide institution, and hugely successful. And I had the chance to mentor with her at a VIP level, and it was amazing. So, but the point is that I have a quote. She said, "Intention plus integrity equals manifestation." So you think about that. Let me translate that. Intention, setting your belief, your thoughts, your planning, all those cognitive, thought processes, knowledge-based perhaps, feeling what's in your heart, setting your goals, and commitment, that's your intention. Plus your integrity. What is integrity? Usually people think of what? They think of their good character. Yes. Let me go a step beyond. It's your follow through, and it's whether you get coached or not, and whether you follow your coach's advice and follow exact instructions and do what they say to do. Your accountability, your mentor, are you being mentored? And your action. Basically, your integrity is what action steps you take with those thoughts. Even Mike Dooley, tut.com, says thoughts become things. So if you think them, that's great, but you have to move in the direction. I've also worked under Mike Dooley. Amazing man. Most of you have heard of him, at least tut.com. Notes from the universe. And you have to move in the direction. Even if you don't know exactly what that direction is, you have to move. So again, intention plus integrity equals manifestation. So what is manifestation? It is the combination of those 2 simple things. Thinking it and all the little things around it, thinking it consistently, be committed to that thinking, so much so that you have integrity for yourself and in those thoughts to actually follow through and act. Now, all the things in between equals manifestation, because what starts to happen is things start to happen. magically, if you will, if you're tut.com Mike Dooley, and dream-wise, your dream starts to come true. And one day you might just wake up and go, wow, what I dreamed of doing and wanted to build as a practice, all of a sudden is here. And it can happen not necessarily fast, but tangibly and succinctly. So there's belief. You want more? Come coach with me. Number 2 is timing. You might do everything and try to do everything, and that's the problem. Maybe perhaps all at once or in the wrong order. So the key is that I've learned the hard way over 30 years of practice. Many times it's been, whoops, I should have done this first. Is I will teach you, and we don't have time in the scope of this, to teach you timing is everything. So whether it be marketing, strategy, business, systems, but you can't do them all at once. And you shouldn't do them all at once because you're going to become overwhelmed and often disappointed. So what I've learned is that just because you can doesn't mean you should. Well, I don't know who quoted that, but that's a principle, universal principle that still I catch myself going, whoa, just because I can, I probably shouldn't have done that in that order. So, for example, you know, I'm going to give you a number 1 tip is to start small. Too many businesses, too many practices start with a big dream and they build it all out. The problem with that is that you've got a huge monster to manage and you don't even know how to manage. So you've got to learn from some of the best, and that's the mentorship and the coaching. The second is that you want to master each step as you go. So your tasks, for example, you probably know how to be a chiropractor. You insist you know how to be a chiropractor because you graduated from a good school with reasonable marks, right? But I would say you might just be touching on the tip of the iceberg because when I came out of school, I knew, for some reason, even though I had a good business sense, I knew that I didn't know everything and I was scared. So that scared state is a good motivating state. So back up, start small. What I mean by that specifically is you maximize your time and spend it consciously doing 1 or 2 or 3 tasks at a time that lead to a manifestation. So again, set the intention with integrity, go do it with help often, ask for help, coaches like me. There's mentors around you, I'm sure, to manifest what you really want. So that's the number 1, number 2 tip. With an example, I'll give you a few quick examples. Staffing, time wasted. Do you waste time on certain things, just diddling, or patient management? I still work on patient management to this day. 30 years into practice, I'm still working on improving my patient management, just making sure it's right on point. And then your technique as well, and working on your technique so that you can be the best you can be. So always learning. And then things like business practices, and working with staff to educate staff. So that's timing. The third of the 5 must-do practice building secrets for a highly profitable business clinic practice is Systemize. We already talked about that a little bit, but what do I mean by that? Ongoing improvements written down so that you know what you did last week, last year, last month, so that you might be able to improve it, or this is working, let's go with it, let's keep it. So not changing the systems up radically all the time, just little tweaks based on guidance though. So you need to get guidance, practice management stuff, knowledge, information, systems. Where do you get that stuff? if you've got too many sources, they all might work, but they all might not work together. So that's a big problem. Too much information is a problem. So what I do is practice audits. And so if you choose to work with me, then we first of all start off with a questionnaire and a session, typically a 1-hour session where we basically go through what your needs are, where you've been, what your practice is like, and where you see it being, and what your dreams and goals are, so that we can help connect the dots so that you get to where you really want to be. So, I mean, that's not rocket science, but 95+% of practitioners aren't successful because they aren't thinking it through with someone helping them and really having that mindset to make it successful. And that's why the statistics are out there for chiropractors. 95% of chiropractors are only making maybe $100,000 a year, and most could do much better with coaching and mentorship of the right kind. And you got to find the right coach, the coach that resonates with what your values are, your core values, your beliefs. You might not always agree with that coach, but you have to find a connection. And so, so again, with Systemize, the quick things are you evolve your system. My practice looks nothing like it did even 10 years ago. I mean, not nothing. The core stuff is there. The core systems that we've been doing that are successful are there. I still remember way back when we computerized and went from all paper to billing and stuff that's now online and virtual and in the cloud. Those are all evolutions of a system that was still the same principle that worked. Collect from the patient client as they receive the service, or even better yet, collect in advance. And I teach those things, and you've got to know how to do that and be able to ask that in a seamless way that it's a benefit to the client, not an ask. It's not a request from them. It's a benefit for them. So learning those simple skills is all about and in putting them into place. Implementation or manifestation is really about just following through. So what does that do for you? It gives you stable growth. It gives you a great patient experience, at least a consistent patient experience. And believe it or not, you must be scripted. You yourself as the doctor need to be scripted. Anybody you work with, your front end, needs to be scripted. And that's not a strict scripting, but for some personality types, it needs to be a strict scripting. So that takes discipline. So that's with systems. That's just touching on the very top of systems, but I hope that gives you a flavor of what needs to be done. That is a great essential. Now, number 4 of the 5 must-do practice building secrets for a highly profitable business and practice. So, personalize your practice. I actually, initially when I came out of college, I thought nothing. No one taught me. I hadn't even heard of the concept about customizing, personalizing my practice, but intuitively, I had a sense that I needed to do that. But when I first started, you're going to laugh, people, I wore the clinic jacket, the white coat in my practice. And I did that for, I don't know how many years. But then one day, after several practice management and coaching and the whole bit, I said, that's not me. That's not who I am at the time. I was that floundering person in practice. I ended up with 2 practices. I manifest 2 practices within a year of coming out of college. And people can't even dream of that, or actually that would probably be a nightmare for some of you. But I took on the task. I was good at business, had an intuitive sense, but I didn't know it all. And good thing I took over one of the practices from a very, very good mentor. And she continued to mentor me That was part of the contract. And contracts is a whole new, another area about systemizing. Even that needs to be systemized. So personalizing your practice is about finding yourself as quickly as possible and evolving your practice as opposed to someone else's vision of your practice. So a couple practical things. For one is really, really love what you do and create an environment that's professional, yet loving and caring, and that represents you. And that's going to look different for everybody. But there's some, definite things I could teach you that are do not do's. But they fall in the realm of lighting, ambiance, decor, cleanliness, patient experience, staffing. Those are all separate topics that I could spend at least a couple hours on. And so personalizing your practice, let me tell you a story. The most valuable tip I got about personalizing my practice did not come from another chiropractor or practice management group. It came from an interior designer. I wanted to freshen up my office. It was several years ago, and I actually fired her because she gave me some really bad advice, which I just didn't resonate. But she was going through a certain period in her life, and I recognized that and I said, paid her what she had done so far as a interior designing coach or consultant. But the most valuable thing that she taught me was to personalize my practice by, I love doing photography, and my one clinic, I have 3 clinics actually in the city here. And that's another story in itself, how I manifest that and how you can create a clinic within a clinic, which is hugely value added, and start to niche your practice as well. But about personalizing your practice it's about actually creating value from an experiential standpoint. So what we did was, she said, create some large format artwork that's yours, your photos, do them up really nice. So what I did is went to a digital print shop and had a few of my very favorite photos done up onto archival art quality canvas. And the biggest one is a 40-inch by 60-inch of trees and a park bench that sits in front of these array of beautiful, sparkling, intertwining branches of trees. And it grounds me to this day. And in fact, that is a signature piece and personalized of my downtown clinic. So when people enter that, in fact, we were interviewing to hire this past few weeks, and the general sense of what the feedback we got, we didn't ask it really, other than the fact that is this a practice clinic that you think you'd like to work in? That's a great question, by the way. And how interested are you? Was their feedback consistently was, this clinic has a great feeling. And you can't buy that stuff. You can't buy a feeling, but if you can deliver a feeling, that's an amazing experience, and that's how you practice build. That's one of the tips anyways. Personalize your practice. Number 5, the 5th must-have, must-do practice building secret for a highly profitable business practice clinic is support and mentorship. I've mentioned this all along the way. I have had support and needed to seek out at times desperately, and other times just, wow, this is great. I'm glad I have a colleague that I can really trust to support me and mentor me, because I'm going through some stuff. So in other words, let me ask you, who are your mentors? Even the number 1 mentor. If you can't name that mentor and have spoken to them in the last, for sure, year or last 3 months, then they may not be that strongly supporting you. Who's your coach? Either business coach or practice coach. Those are all questions that you need to answer. And if you say your spouse, you're in practice with your spouse, oh boy, that's another issue in itself. One of my associates has a very successful practice within the city here, and she's great, but the mentorship isn't cross-happening. Is not cross-happening. I just came up with some terms. Cross-happening. So when it's not cross-happening, then really back to intention. What's your intention? What's your integrity in it? And what are you manifesting? They're all connected. You cannot separate manifestation from intention. You cannot separate manifestation from integrity. So if you're not manifesting truly what you want to be manifesting, then you've got to look at yourself first. And the tendency is what? To look at all those around us and say, all those other factors. Oh, well, this happened to me and that happened to me and poor me. So that's mindset. That's other stuff. That's other coaching that you can get another day with me or with someone who really knows and you trust. So back to the support and the mentorship. There are certain pillars of practice that I believe that every successful or highly successful practitioner needs, because as a chiropractor or if you're a holistic practitioner or another type of medical or healing practitioner, then you know that personal development is the root of that successfulness. That your success depends on you, not anybody else. It depends mostly on you. The second is your chiropractic practice coaching, is actual practice coaching to get the systems, get the thought processes, the systems, the business systems, the goal setting and marketing plan and all those things, staffing and contracts and all that sort of technical stuff, paperwork, even paperwork. Wow. Out of the way, so it's your job is easier, and has a lot to do with believing in yourself. Secondly is believing in others so that you can delegate. You can't do it all, right? And perhaps it's because that you've been trying to do it all yourself that you're at the place where you're at. And so leverage and mentorship and coaching and consulting. Sometimes you need an actual consultant, and there's differences. But the other side of this is business coaching, and of course that is an individualized thing that I personally have found. You need to be very selective, and the cool thing about business coaching, it comes in different packages. I go to a personal development and I learn more business sense because I'm in that mindset at the time that I went. So the key is to be evolving and creative in where you get your downloads and your information from so that you can be the best practitioner. So I don't truly believe that there's a separate business coach. And then this is what I'm alluding to, is I create all these 4 pillars and nurture these 4 pillars in my coaching, in my chiropractic coaching, and in my general coaching. So really it all mixes together. What's the difference between your life and your business and your practice and your personal life? Correct answer, or the answer that most people are saying these days, nothing. It's all the same. So masterminding with peers. So I create masterminds with my peers, with your peers potentially, and imagine the power in getting the brilliance and the knowledge and the inspiration and the passion from a handful or a larger handful of other caring, compassionate chiropractors or health practitioners that understand and feel the same sort of things that you felt, but they've had some other amazing experiences that they can share and mastermind with us. And so I lead business masterminds as one of my levels of service to clients. So imagine having a peer support, not only a group, but a facilitated group that really helps you 2x, 5x, 10x, maybe, sky's the limit. I mean, we're not talking about monetary necessarily. We are talking about business. So it can be tangible increases in your business, but I'm talking about maybe you as a person, or you as an exponential growth person. Think, why have I not discovered this stuff? I'm not sure why, but thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. So don't try and reinvent the wheel. That's a number. That's the last sort of key tip about support and mentorship. And the most mentors and coaches will tell you, don't try to reinvent the wheel. There's some established wheels out there that there's some great tires out there. Don't try to build your own. So the quick summary is, who can you get this help from for your belief, for your systems, setting your intentions, your integrity, your systems, so that you can actually follow through and actually create some great results in a predictable way. And who's going to help you with your how-tos, how to do it better than. Maybe you're doing it right, but not in the right order. And then coming up with creative solutions. Who's helping you with that? Creative solutions to build your practice and to retain more of your clients. Get more clients and retain more of your clients. And then question and answer. Who answers your questions when you have these high-level questions? And who makes you accountable for follow-up? Follow-up so that you can actually truly be successful. And who coaches and mentors you? Maybe you have a coach right now that just not working out, or a coaching group. It's just not your thing, not your people. You're only half feeling it. So maybe you need to fire some people, drop some people, change it up to really get you motivated. Who helps motivate you, truly motivate you, so it comes from within as opposed to, okay, I got homework to do. Big difference, isn't there? And then I call it kind of the me plus. Well, there's me plus these mastermind groups. I'm actively in a couple high-level mastermind groups, and I'm getting training on masterminding as well. So it's an ongoing evolution that I'm always improving the processes and the systems and improving me. So who is it that's helping you express your genius? Your genius, that brilliance inside. Who's actually helping you with that? So those are some thoughts. The call to action is basically contact me, Dr. Alan Chong, the Spine Doctor, at the Spine Coach Inc. Thespinecoach.com is the best way to get a hold of me, I suppose. And then in different formats, you'll see contact information whether you're listening to this or see it in text. And yeah, those are the 5 must-do practice building secrets that you got to have for a highly profitable business. And there's a whole ton more secrets. Through years and years of practice, we learn a few things. We make a lot of mistakes. So I'm here to help you not make those mistakes, and just to serve more people and be rewarded for that. And that's such a great feeling to actually come from the heart, practice with love, and actually help heal people. And I'll leave you with this. If you believe in miracles, you will see miracles. If you look for miracles, you will see many miracles. That's it. Dr. Alan Chong, the Spine Doctor.